everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Nelson. You're watching Nature Nell, and yes, I'm still wearing the same shirt. I have been filming all day today, so you probably seen me with the same shirt, and I figured, why go and change? I really like what it says. I love the back. I think it's very cool. It gives you awareness as you're walking away to other people. So that is why you've been seeing me with this shirt a lot lately. But anyways, today, guys, if you are new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. You don't want to miss all the stuff I'm going to bring ahead. So anyway, today's all about feeding. Super easy. I know some of you guys have asked me. I've shown you on I've described it on my previous episodes, but I've never shown it to you guys. So I'm going to show you the easy steps. I do it weekly. I mix half of dosage that is recommended. Instead of 1 teaspoon per gallon, I do half a teaspoon per gallon. Some people like to amp it up, but I've noticed that it does do some weird things to the leaves. So be careful to overfeed, at least in my own personal observation. So I feed 20-20-20. I also add some potassium in it and some Epsom salt because I like for the leaves to be very green and to be strong. Now I have cut back a little bit on it. I don't feed all the time with all that with the 20-20-20. Especially if it's raining, you don't really need to add all those things. The rain has a lot of those minerals. I've noticed it in my plants that they look so much better after it rains. So for you guys out there that want to know what I use on my weekly regimen, I'm going to show you, and I hope that it works for you. Now, if you have plants indoors, I don't recommend to do it every week because, I'm sorry, it is a sauna in here and I had to close in order to get some light in because it was too dark. So I'm sweating so much. But you know what? It is the ranch. This is what I do, and it ain't going to be, glitz and glamour. So what I recommend is to do it maybe once a month and then do a full dosage, do the 1 teaspoon per gallon. Because my indoor orchids, I don't do this every week, and they stay moist a longer time. So I don't wet every day, like I do my outdoor plants. My outdoor plants get wet every day, so it's no problem feeding them the following week. And since it's a small dosage, it won't really harm it. There's nothing, it's if anything, it's good for them. And the vandas, especially if they're free rooted, you don't even have to wait the following week. You can do it every 4 days, 3 days, or you can do a full dosage every week on your vandas. That's what I do. I do a full dosage every week on my vandas that are outdoors. But if you have plants, like I said, indoors and they're moist longer, please don't do that. You will kill them. The salts will settle in and kill your poor plants. So let me turn this around so I can start filming how I mix, because I am like seriously melting. All right, everyone. So let's get started with this party. So first thing I like to stress out is I always wear gloves no matter what I'm mixing, only because I don't like this stuff falling on my skin. It's not deadly, but it's always good habit to wear protective gear. Now I know some people, when they feed their orchids, they actually wear a mask. I don't go that far. I mean, it doesn't have any smell or anything. But if you want to wear it, go right ahead. Too much is never too much when it comes to to protective gear. So if you feel safer by wearing a mask, I'll show you the mask that I wear when I'm doing like heavy chemicals. These are the best ones because these will actually not allow the fumes to go in there. I tried other masks and the fumes, you can still smell it. I got this at Lowe's, and these are painter's masks, and they're really good. I've had this for quite a while, and it helps a lot when you're spraying. We are ready to start mixing. I'm going to first do the mix for my vandas, because free-rooted orchids, you can give it a full dose every week. It's not going to hurt them, especially if you are rinsing them every day. Out here at the ranch, since I have them outdoors, I sometimes water them twice a day in the summer. It's that hot here. I mean, Look at my shirt. I'm not even moving. I'm just literally hanging out. And I feel like I've been running. I think this is why I can eat so much and not really gain that much weight because I sweat it all out here. Anyways, that's my justification for eating the wrong foods. Side note. All right, guys. So let's start with a full dosage. Now, I got these at, well, I didn't get them. Lewis got them. I think he got them at Home Depot. I forgot where, or Lowe's. And they're awesome because they have a little measurement scale that gives you the size of the, now this is not dirty. I switched that earlier. I was using it. I only use this for the 2020. So guys, I keep my tools clean, okay? It's just that I've been using it. All right, so on a full dosage, I'm gonna make this as easy and as articulate as possible. For a full dosage, I get, some of the containers will tell you. For full dosage or heavy dosage is 1 full teaspoon a gallon. For a light dosage is half a teaspoon a gallon. And that goes with 20-20-20 or Bloom Booster. Today we're not doing Bloom Booster because I do 20-20-20 3 weeks in a row. And on the 4th week, I don't do this and I only do the Bloom Booster with the regular mix. So if you're gonna do the weekly cycle, which is what I do every week, this is how you do it. So for a full dose, it's, let me see, it's 1 teaspoon to a gallon, right? So sorry, I'm getting used to these little scale things. They're new. I love them. They're much better than the other. So make sure you cap off. So that's 1 teaspoon to a gallon. Now this is a 2 gallon, so I have to double dose it. I don't know if you guys are gonna be using the sprayer or you're gonna be using this, you know, the one that connects to the hose. Like if you watch Blanca's videos, she uses the one with the hose. Those are great for outdoors. I don't have one. I am gonna get one for the vandas, but in my greenhouse, I do like to use the 2 gallon sprayer because I have more control and I don't like to hit the flowers. Honestly, I feel that when you hit the flowers, you can damage them. So then here's my other small one. Ooh, mosquito. This one, the potassium, which I get at Amazon. Everything else, by the way, guys, I buy at OFE's. That's why you see the OFE's tag in there. I'm sorry it's a little beat up, but I get all my fertilizer and my foods and fungicide at OFE's Orchids and Supplies, which is located here in Miami, Florida. But if you guys are not here, you can order online. They have everything. And they have every answer to your questions. The stuff that I know is thanks to them. All right, so the potassium is 1/16 of a teaspoon. Now that's crazy. That's what the instructions say in the back. You're lucky if you get a 1/8. This I can take it up to 1/8. See, I don't know if you can see that. It takes it to 1/8. So what I do is, since this is double dose, I fill the 1/8 and I put it in the 2 gallon. That's a full dosage. Now, if you're only doing 1 gallon, half, you know, just like a little pinch, I would do like to the eye. I would do that, like something that little, because this stuff is super potent. You don't want to get too much of it because your leaves will get a little too hard and it'll crack them. And the reason I say that is because it's happened to me. All right, so here we have the last but not least, our Epsom salt. And that's 1/4 of a teaspoon, which is that right there, per gallon. And when you get Epsom salt, make sure it's non-fragrant. Here's for our 2nd gallon. And that's it. My cocktail is ready to be mixed. So I just mix these 3 things. I know some people like to put kelp and others like to put a bunch of other things. I actually have that stuff here. I could actually use some kelp, but actually no, I ran out. But anyways, I used to use kelp. I have to buy some. You can add kelp to this and it's a really nice mix. I don't put calcium because we have plenty of calcium here in our well water and it's just useless. I used to use calcium. I didn't see a difference at all. Right, so I like to mix with these heavy pressure sprayers because it'll do the mixing for you. And the pressure here is so strong that by the time it's filled to the line, then it's really, really well mixed and oxygenated. So remember, keep it, if you have one of these, don't pass the fill line. Even though you may be tempted to, you think you're gonna get a little bit more, but now you're starting to change the ratio of your mix. That's it. We are done mixing. Give it a few pumps. We go to the vandas and I'll see you out there. All right, so we're out here where I keep my vandaliers. These are old Pier 1 chairs that we flipped around, and my partner Lewis created a pulley. I mean, you can't really tell because of all the trees, but there's like a pulley right there. And we raise them up and down. Right now I have them low because I am going to feed. And I have been keeping them this low, only because it's practical. And if we have company or we have a get together, then we raise them up. But we created this because it's a great way of saving space, and the orchids love it. When we take it all the way up, they must feel like they're on trees or something, because this is where they bloom a lot. And I also have some over there next to the greenhouse. So I call that vandalane. But now that we have these vandaliers, there's less on vandalane. So here, let me show you how simple this is. Now I pre-soaked everything today, and it's very hot. So this morning looks really, really fresh. So I didn't mind wetting the whole thing, because I usually, hey buddy, there's Morris. What's up, buddy? You're just waking up. You look sleepy. He is. If not, he'd be like rubbing all over my legs and meowing for food. He's probably still waking up. All right. So let's be careful with Morris. Not spray over him. Now, if this was anything else toxic, guys, he wouldn't be here. I put them inside the terrace because I don't want them to be, I don't want any of the outdoor cats to be in the garden when I'm doing this until I rinse and wash everything. But when I'm feeding, it's not really, he's not going to lick that stuff or anything like that. All right, so this is all you do. You just basically spray the roots. That's it. Give them a nice, good rinse down. And as you're spraying, I believe they are drinking. Because plants are very smart, you know. They do know what they need to do. Here we go. And having Spanish moss on your vandas is a good idea. Do you know why? Because for two reasons. Number one, it keeps the moisture on the roots. Since it's free rooted, it keeps the moisture on the root. And the other great thing about it is when you see the moss really green like that, you know that it's holding the moisture and that your plant is ready. It's already absorbing all the water. So I love Spanish moss for that reason. Now, if you're gonna collect it out in nature, if you have a tree, please don't go in anybody's yard and start collecting. We have friends that have trees in Tampa, and what we do is when we bring some back, we try to get some from the tree, not from the floor. And when Lewis brings it, because he's the one that always brings it here, I put it on that table over there. I spread it all out and I spray it with pesticide. Ooh, my tank fell, hold up. And spray it with pesticides. I usually spray it with Permatrol and or neem oil. But you know what, guys? I have to stop using neem. I tried to go organic. I wanted to see if I can go in that direction because I don't really like using chemicals at all. It's just that here in the ranch and next to the Everglades, it's like it's never ending, you know, it's constant. Even though the environment is perfect for orchids, the pests are like 20,000 times more. and they're always around. So I'm always having to hit them with something. So what I do is preventives. That way I could use softer things like Permatrol. But you know, I've tried using neem oil and all those organic brands, a 3-in-1 fungicide organic, and you know what it did? I'll show you in What's in Bloom on my next episode. It destroyed a lot of the leaves on my plants. It burned them. And they're not even in the sun, because orchids are not allowed to be directly in the sun unless it's a sun-loving orchid. These are orchids that are actually inside the greenhouse with a 70% UV protector. So unfortunately, it destroyed some leaves on some of my really nice orchids. I'm very upset about that, you know, because I thought by going organic, because I always think about the bees and the butterflies and all that. That's why I'm very careful when I'm spraying. So by going organic and seeing that it was destroying my orchids, and in the years that I've been keeping orchids, no chemical that I've used has done that to my orchids. So I was like, you know what, I can't. It's either that or just quit orchid collecting altogether if I'm not going to use any of this stuff. So I'm back to the chemicals. I'm just being a little bit more careful, and as I always do, I clean everything around so no little critter goes in there drinking water. So guys, I'm not gonna do all my vandas because I still have to do the greenhouse inside. Let me finish doing the rest of the vandas and I will see you in the greenhouse. All right, so we're done with the vandas, and now we're gonna do our weekly. This is the one that a lot of people use. It's very popular in the orchid community. You can use it on your plants. You can use it on so many other things. I test everything out. I have successes, I have non-successes. I don't find the non-successes to be failures because I learned from those. I learned that, okay, don't do that again or cut back on it. So, because sometimes it's not that you shouldn't do it, it's just that you should do a little less of it. Okay, so let's do the weekly. This is the ones that are in pots or indoors where you don't want to give too much food, especially guys, if it's indoors. Don't do the weekly because you're going to kill your plants. It doesn't work. You need the heat, you need the sun, you need the outdoor environment to dry out your medium naturally. And when you have them outdoors, that's when you can really do weekly. But if you have your plants indoors, the moisture in the medium will probably still be humid and moist the following week. So it's not good to continue watering with feedings over and over, because the salts will accumulate on top of the surface and will destroy your roots and your plants. And that's when you get burned root tips and burned leaf tips. And some orchids don't even like weekly, even when they're outside. Okay, so I will elaborate further, maybe in my What's in Bloom, but I'll let you guys know some orchids that really don't like it. So let's do our weekly. I love that. Weekly. It's hard to forget. All right, so a week mix to a gallon would be 20. We do half a teaspoon now. Remember what I said, that half a teaspoon makes, this is a full teaspoon. Half a teaspoon makes a gallon. I said it before, but we did a full teaspoon. All right, here we go. So that's half a teaspoon. All right, we're gonna put that to a gallon. Now, remember, I'm doing 2 doses because this is 2 gallons. All right, now I don't have, I don't like to, because this one doesn't have, it's only teaspoons. All right, as far as the potassium goes on this, guess what, guys? We're gonna leave it exactly the same. We're not gonna change the ratio because really it's so little already. I mean, how much less are you gonna put? So again, this is normally 1/16 to a gallon. My measure goes only to 1/8, which would be double that. So we're gonna, that's perfect measurement for a 2 gallon. And then the Epsom salt as well. We're diluting it so much. I mean, we're gonna leave it at 1/4. Oops, sorry about that. We're gonna leave it at 1/4 per gallon like we did for the full dosage. So really the only thing we're creating a week, there's the second one, a week dosage is on the 20-20-20 and on the bloom booster. Now, side note, on your 4th week, when you just do the bloom booster together with these two, and you don't even have to use them, I just like to be consistent. This you do by itself. You don't put 20-20-20. I don't like to mix them both. I know some people have. I just think it's a little overkill. So I don't do a light feed at all. What I do is a full heavy feed once a month, and that's it. So with this, you don't have to do a weekly because you're not doing weekly. You're only doing it once a month. But the 20-20-20, try to stick to your weekly schedule, and you'll see how that's the secret to getting your orchids to bloom a lot. Because my orchids never bloom like they've been blooming in the past 2 years that I've been doing this. And honestly, it's complete night and day effect. All right, so let's fill this up and get ready to go into the greenhouse. Which, by the way, while I was watering the vandas, I slipped and fell, and I hurt myself. And I was hoping that I would have been recording that because I thought that would have been hilarious. But unfortunately, I had just turned the camera off. I slipped and fell on my elbow. It was very painful, and I broke a pot with my big leg, my big foot. But that's ranch life here. I'm constantly getting like a scratch here, a cut there, and I'm, most of the time I don't even feel them. I keep going, and then later on I taking a shower or something and I feel like a scab, and I'm like, where did this come from? All right, guys, so that's up to the line, and we are finito. And I am almost finito. Look at this. My God. And I'm just here standing explaining this to you guys. Now when I go out there to the greenhouse, I'm going to melt. And I'm going to try. No, I'm going to leave this like this. All right, guys. See you in the greenhouse. Now take note that I am only spraying at the base. This will help you guys control fungus a little better. Now, some of them have aerial roots that come out this way. I sometimes spray them. If it's like today, it's pretty hot today. Like today's a good day that if they get wet, it's no big deal because the leaves are going to dry up really fast. But if you're doing this during the rainy season, that's really raining hard, and your orchids are getting wet, I wouldn't suggest it. Because first of all, you shouldn't be feeding if it's raining so much because it's going to rinse all off. I heard that if you get them and it rains like 30-45 minutes later after you sprayed them, they still got fed. That's what I heard. I heard that the plants are smart enough to know. It's like when somebody gives you food, serves you in a plate, right? Do you like wait for 30 minutes or 45 minutes and say, oh, okay, maybe I'll start eating now? No, you eat right away. So from what I heard, they do start taking in the nutrients that they need instantly as you spray. So that's kind of a cool fun fact. Now watch it be wrong, but I was told this. And guys, I go to so many shows and I speak to so many people. So when I tell you that I was told this, is not that I know it for sure, is that these are hobbyists and specialists and botanists that tell me these things. And it's great. I'm very, very blessed that I get to meet these people. But I do follow their advice, and I take it to heart because, these people's collection is just amazing when you see the work that they do. Like I did. Frank Smith from Crawl Smith was telling me that he waters his plants with RO water, and I'm like, that is the key. That is exactly why they are so perfect and so clean. I use well water, which is good because it's high in calcium and all that, and it's much cleaner than city water. You don't have to dechlorinate it. Like the stuff I have in my salon, I have gallons of water dechlorinating all the time because I would never I don't want to feed any of my plants faucet water. and I have a 130-gallon aquarium in my apartment in the city, and I use that water to feed the apartment plants, to water the apartment plants, because what they have in the city water is so bad for the plants. It really is. I mean, it's long-term use. I've tried it out. I tried regular water, and I've tried distilled water, and I've tried rainwater. And rainwater is awesome, and distilled water is like the best. It's incredible how well they do with distilled water. For you Hoya lovers, you know, I have a pretty cool collection going on here of Hoyas, different type of Hoyas. And you know what? I give them the same mix. I do skip with them. I try to skip a week. I don't do it every week. I do it every other week. Like I said, I'm testing them. I'm trying to see. I have given them every week at one point, and I didn't really see any bad doing. Everything looked good. And honestly, like this one here, I bought this at Soroa. This is a very unique looking Hoya. I actually have a tag for it. Cumingiana. And this one has never bloomed, but man, is it shooting like extra vines. And I love it because it's starting to look like a chandelier, because the lady told me you can cut them and put them. So I've done it, and look, it actually gave me more. So yes, I do feed my Hoyas the same mixture that I do for my orchids. And I started, believe it or not, about right after I got it, the tassel fern, the Hopersia, I think that's how they call them, Hopersia, yeah. I actually fed it the same thing, and you know what? It loves it. I was like, oh boy, if this doesn't go right, it's a $225 mistake. But anyway, it's looking beautiful. So I am feeding it every other week as well. So I just want to add that into this video, because I always show you my orchids, but you know, my Hoya room is doing great, and it's thanks to the fact that I've, you know, been feeding. I mean, my Retusa that I got in October at the Tamami show, it's like 3 times the size. It's massive. Look at that. And it bloomed a lot this year for me. So go ahead and if you have Hoyas, go ahead and feed them. Don't worry about what people are saying out there. Oh, don't touch them, leave them alone, because that's what I used to do, and they never look like this at all. I mean, this is just crazy. I even have some that I put here in the back that weren't doing too well. And look, hold on, I gotta just show you, because I never cover my Hoyas, and I think I should show them a little bit more. Look at that. These are 3 different ones. And they're doing wonderful. They love it up there. Now, when I do feed my Hoyas, when I do this, I first look inside. Like I've looked inside these. I look inside because there's this little frog that lives here. And I do put Epsom salt. And for you guys that use Epsom salt, if you hit the frogs with it, you can kill it. It's not good. So be careful of the habitants, you know. They're here with us as well. We have to respect a little. So I do look. The other day, I couldn't find him or her anywhere around here. And I'm like, wow, did she leave? And this was the last one I needed to do. And I said, you know what? Let me check. And when I looked, there she was, hiding away. So I didn't spray this one last week. Or 2 weeks ago. All right, guys. So I just wanted to fit this in. So for you Hoya lovers, this is what I've been doing. Look at this. It's really humid here, but thank God the sun is hiding, so I can handle this. So that's pretty much it. That's all it takes to feed your plants. You don't really need to do a lot. It's just a little time consuming, and if you decide to use a hand sprayer, it takes a little bit longer. Like I said, I like it because I have more control. I don't like to spray too much. Plus I have the cats around here, so I don't want them licking that, and you know, it's good to be careful with this kind of stuff. So I hope that this helps you guys. And plus, for you guys that have apartments and you have your orchids in there, the sprayer is the best, because you can adjust the tips. It comes with several different tips, and you can do like a directional one, and it doesn't have to be like going all over the place. So I hope this helped you guys. I know some of you have asked me how I feed my orchids, and this is basically what I do every week. All right, so I will see you next time. I hope this one helps you guys grow more orchids and healthier orchids. And send me your messages. Let me know how it works for you. Let me know how, start slow, you know, see how, don't just go right into it, because if you're not used to giving this to your orchids, start a little bit slow. Try 1 week and then skip that week and then do the following week and do it every other week and see how your orchids respond. If you see that something doesn't look right, then stop that, and then, you know, we'll address whatever it is. But that's how I did mine. And now I just feed them every week and almost year round. All right, so I am Nelson. You're watching Sweaty Wet Nell on Nature Nell. And remember to always, always keep it green. See you next time.